Hey, so I'm sure you have all been wondering where I have been at over these last few months. I've been kind of in and out. I've posted like one video in the last 6 months since the podcast ended, and a lot of that is really because I haven't really known where I want to go as a creator and where I want to bring this channel as far as its content and its direction. There's been a lot of reflection on that, and I think I know where I want to go with this. So, we're going to get into that. We're going to break down where I see the future of the channel going, and we're going to kind of break down the drama of the day, so to speak, which is going to tie into where the channel's going. But before I do want to give you guys a quick update on me and where I've been. So, in the last 7 months, I have taken a pretty big step back from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not really playing too much advanced Yu-Gi-Oh at all anymore, and what I am playing is mostly just kind of seeing. Really, I'm not playing at all. I'm just keeping up with the format in a way of understanding kind of best I can what the top decks are and what's doing well at events, just so that I can have casual conversation with my friends. As far as my play in Yu-Gi-Oh, I have pretty much been all in on Edison format. Uh, Playing a lot of Amaryllis and enjoying that a lot. And I still have been going to some high level competitive events. As you can see here, this is me at the NAWCQ. I did play in the Ultimate Time Wizard event, and I played Amaryllis. Here I am doing a debris summon Dandy to make a Black Rose to blow up my opponent's field, even though he beat me anyway, because Glad Beasts are rough, especially when you misplay. So, regardless of how bad I am at the game, I am still playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm still traveling to events. So, if you see me at an event and you want to say hi, always feel free to stop in and say hi and tell me hi. The other thing that I've been doing to pass my time is I have been playing some Illustrals. So for those of you that don't know, I did post this video on the channel, I don't know, like 3 months ago, just kind of like showcasing my love for the game. I hosted this tournament at YCS Raleigh. There's supposed to be another video that came out of YCS Raleigh, but to be honest with you, it kind of flopped off of me not having the experience needed to shoot a separate video. So, uh, in time, hopefully, I'm going to actually reshoot that video and re-release it. So, hoping to have that in the coming months, I guess. I don't know. Um, but I have decided that as far as the future of this channel goes, obviously, there's not going to be any more podcasts, at least not on a regular basis. I do have some ideas for some podcasts that I want to do, but I am thinking that my role going forward and my content going forward on this channel is actually going to be less focused on long form, as in, 45, 50 minutes, an hour and a half long podcasts, and more just discussion videos about what's going on in the community. So if we look here, this is the channel Mogul Mail. For those of you that don't know, Mogul Mail is the side channel for the YouTuber Ludwig. So Ludwig had his main channel just called Ludwig by his name, and that's where he would post highlights, clips from his Twitch streams. And when he switched over to YouTube, he created this account, Mogul Mail, because he wanted to practice some form of offline recording. And over time, the channel grew. Now it's got almost over 1.5 million subscribers, and it turned into kind of like a drama channel where he just kind of talked about drama. And even he says that's not really where he liked the direction of the channel. That's not where he wanted it to go. But I think that it can serve as a really useful tool for being able to cover things that are topics within the Yu-Gi-Oh community going forward. So that's kind of where I'm envisioning the channel going forward. This channel being more of a discussion topic channel within Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. And with that, today we, of course, have the drama of the day, which is people are quitting Yu-Gi-Oh in droves. And we've seen this a lot throughout the game's history. This is not the first time that people have tried to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And people have been mass quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Famously. And MBT talks about this all the time in like 2012 when you were in that like wind-up Dino Rabbit Injector format. The game was in such a terrible place that it actually pretty much made Card Fight Vanguard a legitimate game worth playing because so many people quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And started playing Vanguard. But this video right here, you'll see by Sunseed Jess, just titled I'm Quitting Competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really the one that sparked all of the debate in the most recent days, which is where you get reactions from people like MBT, from people like Mega Capital G, Jesse Cotton, Team Sam X1, Josh Schmidt. You got people like Pack responding. I mean, an entire Heart of the Cast episode where they just talk with Jess about all the issues that she sees in Yu-Gi-Oh! Speaking of, while I'm here, if you haven't checked out Heart of the Cast, you really should. In a lot of ways, I view them as like the spiritual successor for Yu-Gi-Oh! To me, when it comes to podcasts in Yu-Gi-Oh!, to me, Heart of the Cast is the best one. I think that they've picked up the role that the Top Cut podcast left off. Except they just do it way better. So they really do cover what I wanted the podcast to be. So if you really want those cutting edge competitive commentary as well as just the goings on in the game on a weekly basis, definitely check them out. But back to this, I think that there are some absolutely valid criticisms leveled at the game done by Jess. I mean, for those that don't know, Jess is one of the best players in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! She very famously made her run with plants several times. Last year, she won the EUWCQ with the plant deck, took it all the way to the World Championship, and she went through Worlds. I think she was X1 or X2 at Worlds and made the top 8 at Worlds last year. She lost out in top 8, but my goodness, pretty much any player in Yu-Gi-Oh! Would love to make it to the top 8 of the World Championship. That's kind of the dream, right? Is to go to Worlds, and then to top Worlds is just icing on the cake. So, but the issue is that the game has changed to a certain degree from where it was a year ago to where it is now. There are a lot of things that can be pointed to, such as you can see this with the way that decks were built a year ago versus the way they're built now. At one time a year ago, you had a little bit more of a board breaker format. You had a little bit more diversity in deck building, I feel, and the cards overall weren't as powerful as they were before. Power creep has always been a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! In a game without set rotation, power creep always will be a thing. You don't get from GOAT format to where we are today over the course of, several rotations. You get there over 20 years of steady power creep. But just as there's always been power creep in the game, there's never been power creep quite to this level. Even if you look at, Sword Soul. Sword Soul got power crept so fast, they never even bothered to hit it on the list. Sure, they banned Protoss, but Protoss was going to be a problem outside of Sword Soul. As we see right now, Protoss is unbanned, and it's a problem outside of Sword Soul. Sword Soul is not a topping deck. It's not considered a competitive deck, and it has Protoss back. So really what you have is you have a format in current Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Where the best players in the game have gotten to the point that they feel that when you have every engine in the game that is so consistent and so powerful that one card leads to a whole board, you're only playing 12 to 15 cards of engine at that point, and then you're playing 20 to 25 hand traps. So this leads to situations like in the finals of the NAWCQ where Trish, former host of this podcast, Trish was in the finals and he proceeds to get 4 hand trapped and doesn't even get to play in game 2 and loses because his opponent just had 4 hand traps. And at that point, even if Mike has Nibiru, all his opponent has to do is just make like 2 summons and he's got lethal on board. So when you're in a format and you're in a situation where the engines have gotten so powerful that you don't even need to run that much engine to go combo, And the hand traps are so powerful, and you can run so many of them. You kind of run into this issue where, as skillful as Yu-Gi-Oh is, and I do believe Yu-Gi-Oh is the most skillful trading card game there is out of all of them. As skillful as it is, you still have this RNG, which you'll always have in trading card games, but that's kind of the allure of Yu-Gi-Oh, is that there's such a high barrier to entry, and there's such a high barrier to knowing the rulings, knowing the cards. I mean, when you have 12,000 cards to know at any given time, it's a very high barrier. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh players go to other card games and they do well for themselves, but you don't see a lot of players from other card games come to Yu-Gi-Oh. Why is that? Because we don't have rotation. We don't have a comprehensive rulings guide. Problem-solving card text is great, but at the end of the day, there are things that are just unintuitive about this game. Even something as simple as, triple tactics talent plus Kurikara Div Incarnate. They both resolve in the end phase. How do you resolve those? You really have to be very into the game to be good at a competitive level. Not just anybody can take any deck and luck their way into Top Cut at a YCS. Even the best players in the world miss Top Cut. But Jess raises a valid point, which is that when you are at this level, missing Top Cut is one thing. But when the vast majority of competitive players miss Top Cut, I believe it was Dinka Fam, she says in Heart of the Cast, Dinka Fam said that the entire Top Cut of the EU WCQ only had like 30 Worlds points. Sure, players that don't have Worlds points can top, but it shows a competitive environment where the best players who are the most consistent still cannot reliably top an event, which is pretty not great for competitive players. Now, there are reasons to, in a game that is that RNG dependent and that luck dependent, there are reasons to, in games like that, play anyway. For example, Pokemon, which does have a level of skill, but I would say not as much as Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a different kind of skill, but I'm not here to disparage Pokemon, but when you have that kind of gap, Pokemon, you'll play it anyway because just topping, you get $15,000. You might have a $100,000 prize pool for top 8. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, well, I'll let Jess tell it.
I guess one of the examples that pushes it for me is I topped the World Championships last year. I made top 8 and then I lost first round of top 8. I walked out empty-handed. I made it to the highest level. If you can make it to the highest level of the game and then top the event at the highest level of the game and walk out empty-handed, it does leave a bit of a sour taste about how the company cares about their players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an understatement. I feel like it's no secret that in Yu-Gi-Oh, the prize support isn't there. So what does Konami do to reward their top players? Well, let's look at the NAWCQ prizing for Austin for this year. So for the 2024 North American World Championship qualifier, you have, let's see, restrictions. Where is it at? Let's see. What happens? Restrictions. Of course, it's on a different page. Here we go. All right. So let's look at the prizing for Top Cut. So if you participated in the National Championship World Qualifier for North America, you got this game mat to go with your entry. You can usually sell these for, say, $50, $60 maybe, usually $40 at the event. And then let's look at your pricing. Okay, so if you get Top Cut, you get a Top Cut game mat. Okay, you get a play mat. Cool. The Top Cut play mats, $150, maybe. 17th to 32nd. So if you get top 32, you get a super rare prize card, another versus Glutonia, and you get the Top Cut game mat. I'm almost positive. Then if you get top 16, you still get the prize card. You get a complete set of Legacy of Destruction, not including Starlights. So you get not the most recent set, but the set before, except you don't get the chase cards. You just get the base level set, which is not that much. And then 6 packs each of Dune, Agov, Phantom Nightmare, and Legacy of Destruction. Okay, 24 booster packs from 4 sets that are out of rotation. It's almost an insult. Okay, sure, top 16. So on top 16, you get a prize card that, by the way, these are worth maybe like $150, $200. And I don't know about you, but if I win a Championship Series prize card, I'm not going to get rid of it because it's, at this level, the only keepsake I have of doing well at this tournament, which means essentially I get a couple hundred cards and I can only have a guarantee of any of them being worth anything. This literally might be like $100 in prizing. All right, let's look at top 8. So if you get top 8, you get a trophy and you still get a prize card. Okay, so the trophy, again, I'm not getting rid of that, just like the prize card. Like, this is my keepsake for me doing well at this event. This is a career moment for me. What about a Nintendo Switch? Okay, this would be cool to throw on if there was other things involved. This is a $200 system, $250 system. This is not even the OLED. Trust me, I know. I talked to Mike. He got second place, which also comes with a Switch. It's not even an OLED. They've been giving away the same base level Nintendo Switches for like 3 years. And then you get the complete set of Legacy and the 6 packs of each, okay? So if you go to top 4, you still get a trophy. You still get the prize card. You still get another additional super rare prize card. So now if you get top 4, you get to the point where you can make $200 on a prize card. You can still get the Nintendo Switch, the complete set of Legacy of Destruction and Infinite Forbidden. Oh, still no Starlights. And 9 packs each. So you get 36 packs, complete sets of these 2 sets, which are, it's 1 card of each card in the set. It's seriously, it's not worth that much. And then again, a Switch worth a couple $100, a prize card worth a couple $100. So if I sell all of this, I might make $400, $500. Because I'm not going to sell this one because that's my prize. I'm not going to sell this because it's my prize. You get an invite to Worlds and travel and accommodation to Worlds. That's pretty cool for top 4. Worlds is in Seattle. Okay, it's still the World Championship. Except even if I do well at Worlds, unless I win, I get nothing. And if I win, I get a prize card that I don't want to sell because I won Worlds or got top 4 at Worlds, and a trophy that I don't want to sell because it's the World Championship. Why would I want to sell my trophy from my crowning achievement? And then what? I did all of this to get this is the same thing. The second place gets the same thing as third place, except your trophy is slightly bigger, and your booster packs, you get 12 of each instead of 9 of each. That's it. So you get 48 packs instead of 36. That's the only difference. And my goodness, again, travel and accommodations and an invite to Worlds is awesome. At Worlds in Seattle this year, they're not even allowing people into Worlds. So you end up getting an invite to an empty room that you're just going to play against your opponents, and you don't have like a crowd to cheer you on if you do well. That sucks. And then for first place, you get the biggest trophy, invite, travel, sure. Another super rare prize card and a regular. So you don't even get the ultra rare prize card, by the way, for winning NAWCQ. You don't even get an ultra rare prize card. You get 2 supers, one of which is worth $200 and a Switch which is worth $200. At least here, when you get the complete sets, you get all the Starlights too. Maybe you can make a couple $100 there. your 18 booster packs each, almost a box. They could not even give out a full box of each. It's almost a box. Okay, so 18 times 4 is what, 72 booster packs? Okay, so I get 72 booster packs, a complete set. 72 booster packs, by the way, that's 3 boxes, so that's like maybe $250, maybe on the high end in pricing. Some of these boxes might not even be worth that much. A Switch might be a couple $100. The prize card's a couple $100, so maybe like $700. I guess if you include these, maybe $1,000 at most. Well, just to travel and accommodations to get to nationals are going to be $600-700. Not to mention the cards that you're playing in the tournament are going to be $1,000 for the deck if you got a good deal. A lot of times, I mean, I can't fathom why you don't have to have this kind of prizing. And look, this is Hani Jahari. Hani Jahari, he's one of the best players. There's no doubt about it, right? Look, this is him on his Facebook. 1 Golden Mickey over 5 another verse Glutonia Ultra. And that's the Ultra. Okay? 1 Golden Mickey from topping a Lorcana event or, getting top 8. I think they get serialized Golden Mickeys. That's worth more than 5 Glutonia Ultras, and you only get a super for winning. Even Patrick Hoban on Twitter. The points for the Worlds race must be changed. It's a joke that players have to fly to regionals to barely try to make it in after winning 2 YCSs this season, while players who have never topped a YCS are comfortably in the playoff. He makes a great point. The Worlds points playoff, if you don't get first or second place in the playoff, you get nothing as far as I'm aware. And even then, it doesn't matter what you get because these are the most dedicated players in the world. These are the players that go and grind regionals nonstop. These are the players that travel and go through a grind that you wouldn't believe, that have to top YCS after YCS, have to top regional after regional. These are the most dedicated and competitive and consistent players in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. And they get nothing. Nothing. You can't maintain the highest level of competitor without rewarding them for their efforts. You cannot maintain a consistent player base if the best players in the game are very publicly leaving to go play other games like Lorcana, One Piece, Magic, Pokemon. I mean, what do you want the players to say? We don't have any consistent communication on a ban list. It's nonstop. It's everything. So there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of really legitimate concerns leveled at the community and leveled at Konami. And at this point, it's on Konami to come back and say, hey, we hear your concerns and we are doing X, Y, and Z to change the way we do things. That way we can make it more worth it to play. I know the biggest reason that I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! On a really competitive level anymore is because I'm a busy person. I have a wife, I have a son, I have a full-time job, I have a mortgage, and I have a social life. And for a lot of other people, these things might not be major concerns in your life at this present moment, but the player base is getting older. The player base, half of my friends are in their 30s, and they have their own lives. They have wives and kids, and money's tight for everyone. And when money's tight for everyone, a lot of times frivolous expenses like trading card games are the first thing to go. So therefore, Konami, you're going to have to do a better job of incentivizing players to come and play this game and give us a reason to spend our hard-earned money. Now that we are adults in the working world spending our own money, give us a reason that money needs to be spent on your card game and not other card games where I can get crazy prizing for much less effort and much less. So I hope that this video finds you well. If you need me, I will be off playing Elestrals. And if you want to follow me in my Elestrals journey, you can go and check out the channel that I am soon going to be making. Probably Top Cut Elestrals or, Top Cut Sunny's Elestrals channel. I don't know, something like that. There will be a link in the description when I get it made. But if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of this discussion style content, I'm going to try to keep it closer to like 12 minutes in the future, not 25. But if you like this, let me know. I think that there's a lot to discuss and a lot to break down. And until next time, have a great day.